Michael, as we're getting ready for this, I have to tell you that I'm so glad we don't count to 4 anymore.
You're so glad what?
We don't count to 5 anymore.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Autism Exchange podcast, where we want to communicate and we want to collaborate. We want to have real talk that's really relatable, and we do that just by talking and having fun. This is not an explainer podcast. We're not to teach you certain things, but what we do is we goof around and we talk about serious stuff. And in doing so, listeners and us have been able to pull some really cool practical things out that have honestly changed my life. And speaking of us, good morning to my wonderful co-host JWoww Krimpa.
Good morning, Michael. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I wanted to say that was a great introduction as always, and I wanted to say that I've been, as we're gaining a little bit of momentum here with the number of episodes that we're doing, I have been trying to explain what it is that we do because it's really not like other like other podcasts that I've heard about autism. And the best I could come up with was I think what you say all the time is that it's sort of a conversation with people who have autism in their life, and we just sit down and have a cup of coffee. Like it's
Yeah.
really just that. It's not a how to or a you should or a coulda, woulda, shoulda sort of thing.
Mhm.
It's really just sitting down and having a cup of tea at a table with people that we find interesting that have autism in their life somehow. So that was the best explanation that I could come up with. Just sort of setting people's expectations that it can be a little goofy, it can be a little irreverent, but there's lots in there that I've learned that has completely enriched and changed my life in so many ways. So it's sort of like a wide ranging intention for who who I think might enjoy this. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
agree
just
with you.
that.
That's a really nice explanation. I think if we got to a point where we could easily explain what we do,
Mm.
then we're probably not doing it right, you know?
Exactly.
Because it's it's super unscripted, unplanned, and, we even, what would you call it? Show prep in the real industry, where people are trying to make a career out of this. Show prep is even something that we don't do a whole lot of. I mean, I know we go back and listen to snippets here and there, but, uh, it's
I
honestly
plug in my microphone. That's my
yeah,
show prep is I
yeah.
plug in my microphone.
Yeah, and I just told you a little bit ago, I said, I didn't prepare at all. I'm just here to talk,
Yep.
and whatever comes to my head is bring it up, and, yeah, and it's funny you say that about plugging in the microphone because I have to log into this studio, as something. So one of us has to be a producer when you log in,
Mhm.
and so I
Okay.
log in as the producer, which is funny because although I do have some audio engineering when it comes to music in my background, this is new and different, so I push a lot of buttons, and thankfully we've talked about artificial intelligence before. Thankfully, AI, does some of the heavy lifting, so I'm not, stuck trying to figure out. Anyway, so it's on me if you ever hear something weird in there, unless Janice burps or something, because I can't control that. Um, at least
That
not
I
yet.
will try to do as far away from the microphone as possible. But I just want to tell you one of the things that I love about us, and one of the things that, well, and another thing that I love about us is that um, when we first started this, we were super excited. So we would like chat for 15 or 20 minutes before we turned on the microphone, just like chit chat, just like, good morning, how are you, and have fun. And then we would turn on the microphone and get started. And I think now we're so cognizant of wait, hold on, let's wait until we turn on the microphone because we're so excited to see each other because we haven't talked in a bit, and so we just sort of want to capture that energy. And I think that's so much fun. Although I think I could talk to you all the time without a microphone on, and we don't necessarily need electricity to sort of like be a part of the
Right.
conversation. But I think it's just fun, and I've noticed that, and I think
The
it's a
other
good
part of it
thing.
It is a good thing, and I agree with you. The other part of it is too, we really mean it when we say we're not scripted, we're not explainers, we're not, asking you things that we've prepared to ask you to tease out outcomes. And I think when we just show up, we're like, "Hey, what's up? Good morning," click record, and then we really get to going, between the 2 of us, I think that's proof positive that we're not scripted. How many
Yeah,
times have I said to you, I started to talk about something with you, and then I'm like, "Oh, no, 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 wait, because I want this to be raw whenever we bring it up for the first time."
right.
Um, well, I wanted that an example is the Barbie thing. That was a complete blindside.
Mhm.
You had nothing on your radar about it whatsoever, and,
Yeah,
but that's intentional, right? Because, if I say, "Hey, Janice, we're gonna do this and talk about this," then you and I both have time to prepare, and, then in that preparation, we're maybe not being as authentic as what we want to be. So,
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
before we do that, I have to tell you though, PJ has graduated kindergarten.
It happens. Congratulations to him
Eh
and to you and to Kirsten. That is super exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so we talked before, I can't remember if this was in an episode or not, but we talked before about how parents may feel the
Mhm.
need to push their children into something.
Yeah.
That whole conversation
Throwback Thursday. Throwback
that
Thursday.
whole
Well
conversation
done. Well done. I think it was Kirsten. Yep.
yeah, and so all together with his teachers and Kirsten and I, we kinda decided, like, the traditional graduation thing where they go to the big auditorium and wait for an hour and walk across the stage and everybody's that's really not fun for PJ, and we didn't believe that it would be meaningful to him. He
Right.
really doesn't seem like he could care any less about getting a piece of paper and walking across the stage. So, uh, his teachers, man, they really showed up. Kirsten and I were talking yesterday or last night. This happened yesterday, and last night we were talking about just how moved we were with the number of
Oh,
people that showed up. And just to give you a quick synopsis of the thing, we kind of thought like, okay, his teacher and then the special ed teacher and maybe his aide, you know, come
yeah.
show up and just kind of talk for a minute. Well,
Yeah.
in reality, what happened was those 3 people, and Kirsten's mom came from, I don't know, 2 hours away, and my mom works in the school, so she was there, obviously, Levi came, but then the principal, and then the vice principal, and then another person who's an accessory personnel for PJ came, and then the special ed teacher that PJ will have next year, but has never had him in class came. They had cupcakes and cookies and pizza, and, the teacher that he's not actually had in her classroom yet or for his teacher yet, bought him gifts, bought him a graduation
Oh
balloon,
my god.
and,
I
you
have
know
chills. I have
uh,
literally, I have chills, Michael. That's amazing. That's
yeah,
s oh my
so
goodness.
here's it gets better. You the, his his one-on-one and I can't really begin you hear like, oh, an aide or a one-on-one, they have a great rapport.
Yeah.
Um, that is until you really can't understand it until you see it. Like, he is absolutely in love with her, but she is absolutely in love with him. I mean,
Mhm.
absolutely in love with him, and not
This must
even
have been
with
emotional for her,
oh,
really
dude,
emotional.
oh, you don't
Mm.
even know, and then, um not even she's not even say, like, "I love him so much." She will. She'll be like, "I love you, buddy."
Yeah,
But it's just her actions and the thing and they all love him. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but just
right.
I've never seen him with somebody, who's not his mom or dad, or grandparents, whatever, really, really have that relationship, and so that person's name is Courtney, and, Courtney, made a slideshow of pictures of him from the year, and
Throwback Thursday.
remember Catherine
Throwback
Weiner
Thursday.
talked to us about
Oh my
ways to
god.
involve children in their education, even if they're not necessarily verbal or if they're not necessarily engaged in it or whatever. So she made this slideshow and it was cute. But here's the thing I'm not a Swiftie, first of all. I'm not a big Swiftie. I think she's talented, you know what I mean? Just like any other
Yeah.
artist to me. I never really was infatuated by that. That said, don't you ever grow up? I don't think is what it's called. And she sings this song about coming of age and you're a baby and just please stay little and I won't let anybody hurt you. Nobody will break your heart. And they put this slideshow of PJ together and they played that song in the background and they obviously didn't know that that song is super meaningful to me just in life. And I absolutely sobbed. And I'm not a
Oh,
sobber. Can you imagine? And I
I'm
I don't
crying
know.
now for you. Like,
Yeah.
I
It
mean, oh my goodness.
it was
I
absolutely the most beautiful thing, and you feel I think every pa I'm probably saying what every parent feels, you're proud of your kid for going through this and succeeding at it, but when you have autism in the equation, you are so doubtful, let me say you because that sounds generalized to everybody. I'll say I. I was doubtful to a degree because you don't know what they're capable of. And I'm an autism specialist by trade and I'm a parent and I know autism, but you still just don't know what they're capable of and what's going to happen and little things like you measure it in big strokes and in tiny strokes. Is he going to
yeah,
get through a day without being sick or hitting his head or having behavioral problems, and then is he learning and growing, and how is all of that stuff, and you get to the end of it, and that for me, I didn't know this was coming, but it was just a big release of a ton of doubt and fear and anxiety and worry that, man, when it came out hard. And
wow.
it
Well, that's a lot you've been carrying, and I'm guessing it wasn't just, the year of kindergarten. This ceremony was sort of I'm guessing, I don't know, but encapsulated, you know, 7 years of all of this. Like, it wasn't just the kindergarten year, it was all the years so far, um, and how I can't even think of a superlative, Michael, and, honestly, how absolutely amazing and awesome, as in awe-inspire awesome, AWE, not awesome as, that people put so much thought into who he is and who you are and Kirsten is to pull this together in a way that it's meaningful for everybody, everybody. And one thing that you said sort of just a minute ago, um, you're not sure where this is going to go and setting expectations. And I think sometimes the default is to set the expectations a little bit lower so that you can guarantee success, right? Like
Mhm,
we're going to do this, and because we really want it to go well.
mhm.
And instead, I think what Catherine talked about, I think what oh, I forgot her name. The teacher we had on. Oh my gosh.
Stacy.
Stacy. Oh my gosh, Stacy, a million apologies. Was Stacy talked about setting expectations high. Like, no, this is just what we're gonna do. Like, of course,
Mhm,
I'm gonna assume, and you said it once too, you assume competence. And I think that yesterday all of that was rolled in together. So there was sort of this celebration and release of, wow, look how far we've come with high expectations. Not how
mhm.
far we've come ensuring success, but how far we've come in with high expectations and success happening in the context of that. So I just I can't imagine how overwhelming that must have been for you
It
and for Kirsten, for everybody.
I was in a room full of females with the exception of Levi, and the principal came in momentarily, um,
Right.
but I was the one that was crying. You know what I mean? And, I feel like I have to be careful. I'm not trying to stereotype. Women cry,
Mm,
that's not what I'm saying, but
yeah.
just my personality is really to not do that. I we've talked about it before. It's like anger and stress are my easiest emotions to show. But it was honestly one of the and it was so touching and humbling because you hear people say all the time that, "Oh, I love your kid. We're gonna take care of him. We're his team. We're here to see him succeed." And that's one thing, but then that, like, deep emotional human component where they genuinely love him and care
Yeah.
for him, and we don't care if you spend money. We don't nee it's not like we're measuring our love for you by what you buy him,
Right. Right.
but just thinking about somebody on their own accord, just spending money and spending time and all the connections and showing up to a classroom. It was a classroom, it was just him, and, couple of
Wow.
them even missed the senior walkthrough where the seniors that were in elementary school walk through the halls on their way to the world, and some of the teachers even missed that to be in there with PJ. Um, anyway, he's a well, I'm proud.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay on topic and not go down the proud dad route, but,
You
um
can go down the proud dad route. I think there are a lot of people that are sort of with you and share, especially at this time of year, of being really proud of how much work and joy and sweats has tears, all of that emotion. And you were saying about people crying and you were the only one crying. My guess is that they have been sort of having those emotions throughout the year,
Mhm,
day to day as they're doing this, and I think that not that you don't have those emotions during the year too, but I think this was probably your, like, space to do that with all of this around. Because I mean, to be clear, Michael, people were also doing this for you, out of honor and respect for you and for having the privilege of working with PJ. So there was a lot there, and I think I think you'd be hard pressed not to be emotional during that time.
yeah. Yeah, and I wanna say 2 things. I I singled out Courtney because she, um, was his, primary when things are rough, she's right there, but I gotta mention the Lauren and the Ashley and the Gabby and the Sarah and, the Prin I just everybody was just there for him in such an amazing, beautiful way. So I wanted to make sure that
Mhm.
nobody listens to this and says, "Oh, he only mentioned Courtney, so I must not have been that impactful." No, you are way wrong on that. And then the other thing that is just on kind of on my heart to mention is that I feel like if I were not me, if I were just tuning into the Autism Exchange and I hear this conversation that we're having right now, there might be a little bit of that welcome to Holland component where
Yeah.
I'm listening to somebody talk about their success and as though, "Oh, they've got it all together. Why can't my kid have a great school? Why can't my kid graduate kindergarten with whatever?" And, just wanna put it on the record that it is absolutely nasty difficult, and it was not easy, and you are not looking at somebody, through a filter that says, "Hey, I got it all figured out. We're doing great." It's really the opposite of that. It's me saying, as difficult as this has been, it makes it that much more uh, impactful and meaningful when it comes to a conclusion. So, I
Yeah.
just wanna be careful to say and if you're listening and you're like, "I really wish that could happen for me and my family or my kid," it can. And I don't have a blueprint to say, "Here's, what you do," because like I said, there were as many downs as there were ups throughout this school year. But things to pull from that would be, I think, trust in other people, believing in yourself as much as you believe in your kid, that you're making the right decisions, and I don't know,
Mhm.
we could write a book on that probably, but there is no one answer. It's just, I just want you to know if you're listening to this that it is wildly difficult, and it was not perfect, and it's still not perfect, and probably never will be, but there is joy to be found in that process despite all the difficulty. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. And I
hang
I
tight.
think yes, and I was gonna say on that sentiment is, thinking about Catherine and, ask, have those conversations that might be a little uncomfortable and difficult, but, asking what you need for. "I wanna include my son in this meeting. I would wanna invite you to a small party that we're having. I want, like" I know this sounds sort of I don't mean for this to sound trite, but, I think it's the beginning of having those conversations to sort of prepare for this and say, "This is what I think my son or daughter will need, and this is how I'd like to go about it," or "How do you think we should go about it?" And just having those conversations. So taking what Catherine said about IEP meetings and including kids and involving kids and their education, I almost feel like this was part of that too. And, not waiting for somebody else to sort of come up with the idea, but initiating that on your own to whatever scale seems right and fits and, is available. So,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I see that connection as well. I feel so we didn't introduce this as what it is, which is a recap. You and I
Yeah.
like to have a couple of guests and episodes and then just spend some time talking about things that we gleaned from that, good or
Mhm.
bad. And you threatened me that if I had a poop button, that we were gonna have words. And now's the time for me to show
Oh,
you
no. No,
that
no,
that
no.
I do not have
Okay.
a poop button. So
Yes, I wanna qualify that with yes. There is still tape, there is still audio, and I know that that it's a matter of time. If you
it
didn't have all
is.
that going on with PJ yesterday and things happening, I'm pretty certain, I'm quite certain as a matter of fact, it's lurking. It's lurking out
Yeah,
there.
the kids
Mhm.
say it's cooking. Let him
It's
cook.
cook.
It's
Yes.
cooking. But anyway, so that's what we wanna do, and it's really simple stuff. We don't I told you I didn't prepare at all. I didn't go back and re-listen and try to whatever. I just want to, as we go, come up with things that stood out to me, and I wanna hear what stood out to you.
Mhm.
Um, so go first. You go first. I don't Yeah.
Um, well, first of all, I love your story, and, that resonates with me a little bit because Carolina's graduating, and you're talking about the Taylor Swift and the slideshow and all of those things, and I think some of that is a bit universal, and I was crying as I was picking out the pictures, I can tell you that,
Yeah.
but there's a poignancy in seeing your kid reach a milestone, and whether it's, Caroline or PJ or anybody else that's listening, there's that milestone that is a natural chance to just take a moment and reflect and then look forward a little bit. And I think it's a time that I'm most optimistic is after and when I'm looking back and, reflecting, and then I sort of like do a 180 and look forward. I think that's the time when I feel like most positive, like, okay, we can do this. Let's take all of this from the past and let's, go forward. And that sort of leads me into a segue from Farah and all that she has been through personally, and how she just keeps moving forward. And one day leads to the next, or 1 minute leads to the next minute, to the next minute. And I was so struck by how she just has gathered everything from the past 5 years. I think she said Vincent in 5 years, and just says, onward. Like, let's keep going, no matter how difficult it gets, or how hilarious or funny or fun or challenge, like all the words. It's just okay. Let's keep going, and I was so inspired by that.
Yeah, she's a very, very the only word I can come up with is tough.
Mm,
But not in a light sense. You find out what you're made of. People often ask you, or I'm sure you've heard this come up. You don't know how you would react in a situation until you're in that situation. You've heard that. I don't know if that's an
oh yeah,
analogy. You've heard that before. It's kind of that for me. And I want to be very careful, not to dwell on the challenging parts of Farha's history, but to recap, she told us that her husband passed away when Vincent was 2 years old, and she was grieving that, or trying to, but she instead had to grieve and be present for the autism diagnosis that came for Vincent and changes in life. And I, until you're in that situation, or until you're on the battlefield on Normandy and there's bullets flying over your head, you don't know how you're going to react. And I feel like, looking at her, I would venture to guess that she didn't know how she would react,
yeah,
because how do you prepare for that? Um, and then, then you're in that moment. I hope that she can look back and see how tough she really is, because when doo doo hit the fan in her life, she just tightened up her boots and went. And
yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
she's still charging.
Oh, for sure, for sure. There was such resolve in her voice. Like, okay, this is. here we go. And, Vincent wakes up singing every day. I sing during the day throughout the house. And I just, there was something so joyful about her approach to things, even when things are hard. And she said it, but she said it with a sense of humor. And that might not, I'm sure that there are times when she's looking at difficult things and she doesn't laugh at them or make fun of them. But
Uh-huh.
there was her ability to sort of talk about them, with sort of joy and a sense of humor, I found really inspiring. I really did. And I was thinking about, when I have difficult things in my life and I think about, okay, I want to think about how it's going to be on the other side of this. How do I want to look back and say that I handled things? And that really is comforting to me. That's really helpful. But in her situation, and I would imagine in your situation a little bit, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it's hard to imagine the other side because there's not really an other side. Like this is something that's going to be with you and be with PJ. And so it's not looking at it from the other side. It's looking at it head on and keeping your eyes open and moving forward. Um so I'm just kudos and respect to you and Farha and to all the other parents that are listening that and not listening, but every parents uh, that's extraordinary, and I am in awe of that.
Yeah, thank you. That's kind. None of us are dealt the same hand, and I always am somewhat gentle in talking about struggles that maybe I have when it comes to autism in my household because I don't want to be a whiner, you know. It's not a woe is me thing, but it's also important to put that stuff out there.
Mhm.
But we are all dealt different hands, and we can't control that. And I think all of us do have a car with a bad engine in some place, check engine lights on, don't know what it is, but you can only access the car through the trunk. You can't just simply walk around to the other side to identify and access the outcome and the solution. You have to go through the trunk and figure out how to get to the back seat and then to the front seat and then to the engine and hope you got enough room. And uh, it's backward, but at the same time, like we just talked about with graduation, I think if you are required to go through the trunk to fix the engine, um, then it's more meaningful to you when you get to the engine and fix it, um, than if you could
100%.
simply walk around. So,
Yeah.
um, we also did part 2 with Kirsten, um,
Yay.
and
Yay.
that I didn't think so when I think you asked me, somebody did, how did I feel about Kirsten in the first part? And I told everybody that asked me, I told them the same thing that obviously I love her and as a human and as a parent, but I didn't really know, despite us living together, that that level of everything was there. You know, to hear her sit down and say it all in one story,
Yeah.
um, really hit me hard. And then I thought, okay, I saw a side of you I didn't know was there. And then um, she did part 2. And when she did part 2, I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know everything." You know? Um,
There's more.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's more.
Yeah.
But her
So
go ahead. No, let me go. I was just gonna say
yeah.
her ability to continually show up, um, for PJ and for Levi and for me and do the things that she does while handling what she needs to handle on her own for herself, um, I think that's indicative of a hand that was dealt to her, like we just talked about with Farha and with me. Kirsten was dealt this hand that's wildly different than what mine was or is, because we all have our own challenges with how we process things and all of that stuff. But it's remarkable to me how another person handles that, just like Farha did, with so much grace, and so
Yeah.
much character and so much dignity and commitment and passion. Um, again, I could have told you that Kirsten had grace and dignity and passion and character, but I think when you put it all in a blender and then you look at it, you go, "Holy cow, I did not know that it was that," but
Yeah, yeah,
kind of a
and she's
roundabout way.
quite beautiful, and I mean, like, she just has such a when I say beautiful, it's not just her physical beauty, but
Oh, she's
the
a
way
smoke show.
I I see her coming in and just there's a grace about her. The way that she carries herself is I'm sure I know she has a lot going on inside. She told us about it. Um, but I don't know. There's something about her that just seems a bit magical. And what I also find magical in listening to her talk is her amazing sense of humor. I'm still absolutely digging the word neurospicy. Um, and, but and I'm just gonna be frank with you, a lot of families, who have a child with autism, it's incredibly stressful for the marriage, incredibly stressful, and a lot
Mhm,
of families, experience divorce.
mhm,
And what, I saw and have seen over the past, several episodes is you talking about Kirsten and saying, "When this happens or, PJ hits her, I just get so mad and you're so protective of her and so loving of her, and I think she feels that, and so even though you're both doing different things during the day, but both on behalf of, PJ and Levi, maybe in different ways, but I think that it's so clear how the 2 of you connect and talk that that's a piece of this autism in your family that I think is overlooked. I think people assume that it happens in the context of a partnership, and most often it does not. And so
mhm.
when Kirsten comes on and you talk about her throughout different episodes, it always strikes me how much um, partnership and true gratitude and respect is happening. So I just want to point that out because I do think that that's worth noting.
Yeah. Well, excuse me, and kind of what you're right. I don't like to see her hurt. I don't like to see her struggle. I don't want anything except for perfection. I know that she deserves to wake up every day and have the most perfect day with no issue, but that's not life. And so many things are out of my control. And I have to say too, back to the whole it ain't all sunshine. I don't want anybody listening to say Michael's got it figured out. Kirsten's got it figured out. They're good for it. It's hard. There are so many
Yeah,
behind the
yeah.
scenes things. And here's an example. I get so overstimulated with loud noise and screaming and even tantrums, meltdowns, or even fun screaming. It overstimulates me to the point where I have to like remove myself. And maybe it's because I do it all day for work and then I go home and have to do it again or get to do it again,
Mhm.
get to do it again.
Yeah.
Um, but that overstimulation adds up, and
Mm,
for me, Kirsten could tell you, if I quizzed her on this, it would be the first word out of her mouth. How does my anxiety, stress, or overstimulation come out? She'd say, "Anger." I just get so mad,
mm, yeah,
I don't even know what
yeah.
I'm mad at. Um, it
Yeah,
happened yesterday. It happened yesterday, last night. I was just so over it. I was so mad, and PJ didn't wanna go inside and get in the bath, and it frustrated me, and I say that because you the the strain I don't know what a marriage feels like without autism in the house. I've never experienced it, and so
yeah,
I can't tell you how different our relationship or bond or marriage is than others, but I can tell you that it's really freaking hard a lot of the time. Not to
mm,
maintain your love and commitment to your partner, but just to survive those moments and then figure out how to take a deep breath and then what's the next moment. And anyway, my
yeah,
point
yeah,
there is that it's not all sunshine. But as long as you honor your commitment to say we'll get through it no matter what, then,
mhm,
you'll get through it no matter what. So,
yeah,
uh
yeah. I just wanted to point that out because I that was such a, universal thing that I saw over the years, and, I just wanted to point out that that was something that's a theme that I noticed over and over again, and I just wanted to sort of, like, say that on the record so that you have
yeah,
that.
well, I appreciate it, thank you. That means a
Mhm,
lot.
mhm,
Kirsten
yeah.
will listen to this and go, "He what? He what?" She'll "What? Who are you talking about?" Um, so back to Farha,
Mm,
um, the positivity who was it? Bob Goff wrote a book, I think it was in this book, called Love Does. Um I think that's what it was. But anyway, if you haven't read that, read it because it's great. Um, but he talked about how joy was a choice,
Uh,
You can, basically, and I think, and I could be this could be a different book, but I'm pretty sure this was Love Does by Bob Goff. The analogy was that it was a vending machine, and you walk up to the vending machine every single day, and you've got all these choices that you can push and make, and you get whatever you put your money in, and then you get what you chose, and investing yourself in a product in the vending machine, then that's what you'll get out of it. Reap what you sow. And
yep.
his was choose joy, and push B5 and choose joy. And that always re- that resonates with me throughout my whole life since I've heard that part. But when you apply that to Farha, and even Kirsten, like there are choices to make in how to handle a difficult situation. Do I want to be super mad? Do I want to laugh at this? Do I want to be sad about this? And then um, outside of that, you see them make those choices that come out as joy. So
Yeah.
Farha is a great example of that. So is Kirsten. But they have this vending machine, and they could choose all these different things, and they choose joy. And
Yeah. I'm taking notes because I thought that was great, and I think the other part of that, Michael, is standing in front of the vending machine for a minute and thinking about the choice that you wanna make. Because I think if you just go up to the vending machine, it's easy to say, "Well, I'm mad right now, so I'm gonna choose mad because I joy seems like forget that. I'm mad or I'm whatever." And I think, standing in front of the vending machine, taking a deep breath, and just pausing for a minute and then making a choice so that it becomes a response, not a reaction. So even if you run to the vending machine because something just happens and you want to go in and make a choice and get something out of that machine, taking a minute to stop and think about what you can choose, I think is makes all the difference because then you're truly making a choice. You're truly responding, not reacting. And I that analogy sort of like fits with so much of the way that I think about things too.
yeah, and it gives you some semblance of control, I think.
Yes.
And when you feel like you have some control, it's a little easier. If you're on an airplane, a lot of people are uneasy because they're not the one flying it. Even if you don't fly an airplane, you at least feel like if you have your hands on the yoke that you're somehow safer.
Right.
It's really difficult to let go and let somebody else or environmental things impact your life and change things in your life. So I think, yeah, standing in front of the vending machine at all gives you some sense of control, and like I might feel this way and like the world's falling apart. And sometimes it really is, but you also have some control in that situation. Um,
Yep. Yep.
what
Love that.
else is on your mind?
Um. Well. There's actually quite a bit that I'm looking at through all of my notes too, from Kirsten and from Fraha, and also from some our conversation about the stimming pool. I just got to say that was so incredibly profound, and I mean that might be like a different recap. I'm not sure, but that was pretty amazing, and we can talk about that in a second. But I did have something I wanted to share with you, and
Okay.
I am gonna be really proud of this segue because it encapsulates a farm, it encapsulates
Oh,
autism, and it encapsulates Australia. Are you ready?
uh-huh.
Like, this is big stuff. So, there is a young woman in Australia, her name is Summer Farrelly, and, it involves sort of chickens. Not sort of chickens, it does involve
Sort of
chickens.
sort of chickens.
Sort of chicken they are
Is this
bona
like a
fide
turducken
chickens.
a turducken moment?
Right. I actually participated in making one of those, by the way. It was a hot mess. So Summer Fairley is I'm gonna read this to make sure I get everything because it's pretty amazing. She is a zoology student and she grew up finding people confusing, but chickens made sense. So by watching the way that chickens interacted, their personalities, their pecking order, and their social cues, Summer began to understand some of the social dynamics happening on the playground too. And Summer didn't turn that into a lesson about fitting in. Instead, she created Chickens to Love, an animal assisted learning program that helps autistic children explore emotions, self advocacy, and communication through animals. It's a reminder that learning does not always happen at desk, and sometimes it happens in a chicken coop, quietly, gently, and with a few feathered teachers. So I was so struck
Huh.
by the creativity with which someone makes sense of the world for them,
Uh-huh.
and realizing or finding out that that makes sense to other people too. Like that way to learn or to get that information, like that makes sense. It wasn't an N of one. There are other people. She developed a program.
Uh-huh.
I was just like blown away by that, and I wanted to share that with you because I think as we were talking with Catherine about individualization and self advocacy, I thought here's this young woman that is doing that by pursuing what she loved and what made sense to her, and learned all these, like, ancillary skills, through something that she loved putting that all together. So I was so tickled. I just love that little piece right there. So I wanted to share that with you.
I love that. That's really cool. And first of all, you said tickled.
I
You were
know,
tickled.
I chose that word so carefully,
I'm proud of
and
you.
I knew. Yeah, you like that? Yeah,
I'm really proud of you, actually. That was very
thank
Southern
you.
of you. I'll send you a gallon of sweet tea. Um, it'll be good. The octopus teacher, have you ever heard of that?
Yes. Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
that's
I love
another
the
kind of
movie. Mhm.
example of seeing how people interpret the world around them and make sense of it, and little bitty things, just like with the chickens, little bitty things can mean so much, so
Yep.
much more than what meets the eye. A chicken's a chicken. I asked Levi last night, um, "Hey, buddy, what was your favorite part of the day?" And without missing a beat, he said, "Feeding the chickens." Oh, okay. I'm thinking, well, you went to the school and had a party and ate pizza and,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
these things. And then what stood out to him was just he says feeving. He's 3. So it's like Feeving,
Mhm, right.
feeving the chickens. And he's talking to him. When he walks up to him, he says, "Hey, ladies, what you doing?" Because they're hens. He
Oh,
goes, "Hey, ladies."
right.
Then he see the rooster. He said, "You're a really tall chicken." It's
Oh.
just so fun. Anyway, that's kind of what the point you're making too. People are making sense of the world around them in ways that they are passionate about and things that
Yeah,
are important to them. And you can see Levi doing that at 3 years old.
yeah.
He understands that chickens need to eat. One more funny Leviism is that he yesterday just out of nowhere looked over into the horse pasture, and all the horses were there. And he said, "Dad, the beautiful horses are having a nice day." I said, "Yes, they are,
Oh,
little fella.
yes, they are.
Uh, they just are just eating grass." So
Oh,
anyway, I think any
I
of us
love
can look
that.
around and the stuff that's mundane or the stuff that we take for granted. You see a square as a square and a circle as a circle, but you also can look into that sometimes and see something more if you're willing or
Right.
know that you can, that you
Yep.
can look and see. But
And that's a pausing to make a choice too. That's pausing to choose to see what you wanna see, and I think the beauty or the goal is to, have that pause happen naturally, and
mhm,
so that, it you don't have to remember to pause, and Levi did that. He's just walking along, and that's what he noticed, and that's what he took joy in,
mhm.
and he just did that sort of instinctively. Oh, I love that story. I love that. That makes me so happy. It really does.
It's fun, and I mean, I think everybody knows this. It's crazy how you can look at a 3-year-old kid and they can teach you so much about life, and they just have no idea that they're doing it. I
Oh,
told you
yeah.
before,
Yeah.
Levi leads with his belly everywhere he goes when he walks, and just this little belly first 3-year-old kid teaches you so much.
Yep.
And with Kirsten, we talked about how Levi understands autism without really knowing that it's autism and
Right.
stuff like that. It's just really neat. Um, can I how you feel about a curveball today?
Uh, uh, Bring it on. I might have to get a designated runner if it doesn't go well, but go ahead. Yeah.
Hey, Lorraine,
Hi, Janice. Hi,
Hel
Janice.
hello. Lorraine is
you
I
wish you
can't see
knew,
you.
don't you? Nope.
No, I'm
Yeah,
over
I
here.
do. I do wish I knew because then my hello would have been a little more solid.
Well, are you nervous, Janice?
Little bit, yeah. I'm going through the Rolodex in my head of how many Lorraines I know, so, yeah.
You've never met Lorraine.
No. I
Okay.
was I did, like, a test thing with you all.
The Janice wasn't even here then.
Oh!
Yeah, she was.
Oh, was she?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
yeah,
Way early on, right? Like,
yeah,
way early on. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
We have our act together, like, 10% more than we did then, but we but,
5.
5, yeah. 10 might have been lofty, but I would say, well, 10 because we have, guests that consistently say yes, which is lovely. But yeah, 5%
And we have
on
real
the help.
microphones, like,
Yeah, we do.
microphones help. That's at least worth 2%.
That's true.
Um,
Right. When I remember how to plug them in correctly. But yeah, hey, Lorraine, how are you? Yeah, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good this morning. I get Michael said that you guys are experiencing some allergy. So what is a situationship? I learned that word with allergies. So I hope you're handling them okay.
I'm doing great. I don't really have a lot of issues with allergies. My husband's having some issues with it, but me and my
Okay.
son, we're good. We're just like, "It's cool. We're good.
Excellent.
No
Good.
problem."
Good. So what have you been up to? It brings you in today. Did Michael just like rope you in here or rope? Did you like
He's
that? Rope
she
you in
doesn't
here?
know. Let me say something. I wish that y'all who listen could see Janice right now because there's this look of, like, excitement, but also what in the world is going on right now, and knowing me and how I am, I think that's equally scary.
I was about to say that's very fair because it's you and you never know what's gonna come out of Michael's mouth, and he literally just texted me and said, "We're gonna surprise Janice," and I said, "Okay." So
And
here
I
I am.
can't see her. I can't see all I see you is Michael, all I see
Well,
is you.
the
So,
s fancy
uh,
fancy thing, you couldn't see her anyway, but she's standing over there because
yeah.
we didn't have this was unplanned, we didn't have time to bring a table and a chair and set her up, so she snuck in the door while you were
Um,
talking, and I just pointed at the headphones in hopes that she knew to put them on. So Lorraine doesn't
okay,
know why
can
she's
I
in here
just
either.
I don't.
can I just say, Michael, I should start to recognize a pattern because I think, a day or 2 ago, I said I was nervous whenever you look down and reach to your left. Because
Uh-huh.
that's where you have, I think, a keyboard or buttons or I don't know, something, but now that also seems to be where the door is in your office. So you were looking to the left, and I should know that means that there's something afoot. Like,
Well, here's
I
what you
should
need to
start to
remember.
Yes.
recognize patterns.
You need to
Mhm.
remember this, though. They're,
Mm.
we're mirrored in this software. So,
Yeah,
which way do you think I'm looking now?
you're looking to your right, right?
Crap. So you do know where I'm looking.
100%.
She can see
Give me
you.
some credit. Come on.
No, because
That
you
was
said let
not
me
a
tell you something.
curveball, my friend. Oh my
You said
god.
when you look to the left to do your notes or whatever, but in reality, my notepad's on my right and the door's on my
Mhm.
left, and so I thought, "Oh, maybe she's wrong because 'cause I'm mirrored," and then I can just use that to throw you off all the time. So what I'm gonna do is just invert my screen and be upside down so that you never know what's
Okay.
going on. Um,
Yeah.
here's what we're gonna do. I asked Lorraine to come in so we could have a little bit of fun. Um,
Oh, okay, great.
you know I love games and competition, and
Mhm.
speaking of competition, I gotta tell a
Oh my
story.
god.
Should I mute you while I tell this story?
No, I will be quiet. You just
Okay.
tell a story how you wanna tell it.
Last week, actually 1 week ago today, Fridays are a slower day in the office, and so there's some especially if there's, like, a cancellation for illness or something, um, so we had some killer time or time to kill, and
Killer time.
killer time. You know
Like,
you know the kind of that might be a Freudian slip for the way these
yeah.
competitions do go
That's true. We're
because
cutthroat.
it's killer.
Oh, no.
Um, you know the board game Trouble with
Mhm.
the little bubble you pop, the dice thing?
Yep.
We have a long-standing history of playing that game, and there is an unwritten rule that nothing that we say during a game amongst staff, is to be held against you. Like,
It's
is
not personal. You can't take it personal.
Okay.
You
yeah.
can't hold it
Okay.
against somebody.
So I said to
Okay.
Lorraine, last Friday, we had a few minutes waiting on the kiddo to get here, and I said, "Can we play Trouble?" And it's just she and I. We played Trouble. I said, "How about winner gets a Polar Pop? You know, the fountain drinks and the styrofoam cups. Winner gets a Polar Pop from the other." She said, "Cool, bet." We did it. She lost. And
Okay.
then she said, "How about double or nothing?" I said, "Okay." Who won?
And then I won because
Nice.
I'm just good at the game.
Oh, it's a game of luck, but yeah, call it skill. So then
Oh, wait
Lorraine
a
wants to
second. You
do
sounded very proud when you won the first time. So if it's a
yeah.
game of luck,
Thank you,
I think
Janice.
that's yeah. We gotta temper down the excitement if it is a game of luck, Michael. You're very proud
No,
of yourself the first
I'm
round.
just
Okay, go ahead.
really good at being lucky. So,
Okay.
what happened next, Lorraine?
So I won, and then he said, "Okay, how about triple or nothing?" So I was like, "You know what? Sure, because I'd love 3 days of Coca-Cola because I love my Coca-Cola." And he was like, "Alright." And then he barely beat me. Like, I'm
But I
talking
beat her.
we were, like, tied there at the last end, I feel like, he just happened to get lucky and get that, I don't know, 2 that he needed
Oh.
and got it.
So, long story short, I won, and for
Mm.
this is here, you can't see it probably,
Oh,
The
yeah, yeah.
biggest possible size of Polar Pop you can get.
and it's diet Mountain Dew, so I'm just literally
Ah,
injecting poison
yeah.
into my body.
I'm
Um,
so that's how can you do that? Then that's like a trough size. Like,
it's the big
that's
one.
like
He's had 3.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
for 3
3.
days yep, and I to be
Oh my
honest, I intended to text you, Lolo, and say, maybe don't get the biggest one because I hate to waste it because I can't get through one of those. But I did tell her prior to whenever I won last week, and I said, "You owe me," um, that I prefer in an extra large cup, I want 12 ice cubes, but in a large, I only want 8. And
Well, okay, here's the thing, though, they have the shaved little ice, so, I mean, you can't really.
that's
Oh.
why my Diet Mountain Dew is hot because she put 8 shavings of
No, that is
ice in
not
it.
true. I did what I thought was a reasonable amount, but not overload with ice because he wanted 8 ice cubes, so I'm like, "Well, it's what you get."
And, to be honest, I
Yep.
forget it, but she told me to remind her. So the first day, I put a reminder in my phone to text her in the morning to say Diet Mountain Dew Day, but then I forgot about it. And today, even I walked into my office, I'm like, "Oh crap! There's a giant trough full of
I
a 5-gallon bucket."
I made the debt free and clear,
Yes, she
so.
did. She's paid up now. So we'll
That's a
probably play
well, good
Trouble
for
this
you.
afternoon.
That's to your that's to your credit of integrity. Good for you. Even though it
Thank
was
you.
Diet Mountain Dew. Oh my god, Michael, we gotta work on your choices here.
I love a good D&D. They're so good.
Mine would have
Yeah.
been Coke, so, yeah.
Okay, so let's bring this party back to the bus.
Yeah.
Competition is fun. Lorraine and I are very competitive
Mhm.
people. Janice, you and I are somewhat competitive with each other. I tend to push buttons on purpose, not audio buttons, but oh,
Right.
hang on,
So happy I would spit.
not that kind of button.
Right. Thanks.
Lolo, have you heard these buttons?
No,
Here's
you
one.
haven't shown me.
Here's one.
Running like a possum eating sawgrass.
Janice is
What's
just
It's
it?
full of good countryisms.
supposed to
Oh,
be
okay.
Sawbriar. I know that now. So just to be clear, I know that now. So, but I know you won't record it. But you know what it is I'm generally quick on my feet, but seeing the, proverbial red lights of the recording, it, like, stops my brain a little bit. So even when I listen to myself on the podcast, I
Yeah.
have to stop and start, and, so
Uh-huh.
that's still a little bit of stage fright, I think. So, yeah, let's just
Well, just in case you
factor
were
that
wondering,
in.
if you factor in whatever you want to. Nobody thinks you're dumb. I think you're wonderful and very smart. Um, the day that I stop picking is the day we probably have a problem. That's just
That's
who I
probably
am.
That's
true.
true. If he's
That's
just
true.
very polite and cordial, I mm-mm. He don't like you.
No.
Sums up. Okay, well, anyway, you're making me
No,
feel
that's true.
bad.
I wouldn't wanna no, I wouldn't wanna be that wouldn't be you. You wouldn't be fun, and, I mean, there are days that, people have off, whatever, but,
Mhm.
I think I just want you to be you. I don't want you to do anything differently, especially around me. So
Well, I don't know how to do anything differently, so there's that. Okay,
No, that's a good thing and a it's a blessing and a curse.
I
yeah.
agree. Lolo, you come in and dropping some philosophical stuff when I just texted you and said, "Come surprise Janice
Mm.
with me."
I
I'm
know,
proud of
I'm
you.
loving it.
Thanks.
Um, okay, so we're gonna play a game.
Oh, okay.
And you're basically the referee
Oh, okay.
slash moderator of the game. Um, we do keep score. Janice likes to ask for half points here and
I
there.
do. I
So,
do. Yeah.
I mean, just remember that if you feel sorry for her because I'm getting ready to crush her at this game, that you can give her a half point.
Okay,
Or
so what's the game?
Well, I'm getting ready to tell you.
Okay.
You know, and we played this not very long ago. Janice and I did
Mhm.
when Kirsten was here.
Uh-huh.
You know the "Don't Drop the Mic" game, where you put a word out there and then we come up with a song lyric.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but Kirsten suggested that we do that with movies because Janice owns a film club, not foam, film,
Yeah,
FILM.
true.
Throwback Thursday. Throwback Thursday.
It's a Throwback Thursday to very early on when I thought for a long time that you had a foam club and was so confused about what that meant. Anyway,
Yes.
Janice knows movies pretty well, so we're gonna play that game. Don't drop
Don't
the
say
mic, but it's
that because now that's pressure, and I don't okay,
exact. Why do you think I
I
said
know.
it? Why do
I
you think I need every
He's
yeah,
playing mind
okay.
games. He loves mind games.
Well,
It's working. It's totally working. Like, my mind's in a tangle. Okay, go ahead.
so Lorraine's gonna give us a word, and whoever comes up with a movie title containing that word, not a movie quote, a movie title.
Title.
Um,
Whew,
mhm,
okay.
yep. And this is honestly, this one's gonna be hard for me because I speak in movie quotes all the time. Oh,
Mhm.
she's got her phone out. What's gonna happen? She's gonna make it hard.
Google. I don't know a bunch of movie titles off the top of my head.
Well, you don't have to. You're just saying a word.
Oh, I'm just saying a word. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You're the referee.
I thought you said okay, never
No,
mind.
you don't have to.
Never
So,
mind.
all right, ready? Here we go.
Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain.
But, yes, that one. Okay.
I've
Uh,
never seen it.
never mind.
And, you know,
Forest.
the director was Ang Lee, and it was really good with the late, Heath Ledger, so, that's a fascinating movie to see if you haven't seen it. Totally
Well,
breakthrough movie if it's fun. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, I've never seen it.
Mm.
Fast.
The Fast and
Fast
Furious.
Times at Ridgemont High. Well, I just took longer because my thing was my title was longer, but no?
Janice, I gotta give it to Michael. He kind of spit that one out there.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Janice.
Let's go.
Um,
I'm loving it.
Lorraine, your pop-ins are about to be unwelcome from now on, but go ahead.
um, I'll just, don't worry, Janice. I got you. Community.
Ooh,
Come the the dude, I got nothing. Don't say it. Lorraine looks like she has one on the tip of her tongue.
I'm not saying nothing.
I is there
Time's up.
yeah, I was gonna say there's a time limit to how long we can think before we, like,
Okay.
start to smoke, so yes.
I didn't think I'd stump you all.
What is
Oh,
it?
I don't know.
That was
Oh
a trick
my
question.
gosh, that was ridiculous.
Hey, you just said I had to come up with a word, not the movie.
That's so funny. Okay, go. It's
Uh,
2-0.
Dad.
Dad.
Bad boys. No?
Dad.
Dad.
D-A-D.
D-A-D.
B-A-D.
No,
No, D.
D for dog.
D-O.
D-O-D.
D-O-D. D-A-D.
Wait a second. This is a three-letter word, and two of the letters are the same, and you just misspelled
Misspelled
it.
it. I'm good with it. All right, Dad. Daddy daycare. Does that count? Daddy daycare?
That's one. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take
Okay.
Daddy Daycare. That's actually one
Okay.
of my favorite movies.
We need to start quizzing Janice on foam, not film.
I know. I'm telling you, I cannot think like this, but go ahead. Or if I do, I come up with it's a whole different anyway, go ahead, go ahead. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. The
The English Patient. Boom!
Shannon's got one. See?
Do you know that I sat there with like 6 on the tip of my tongue and refused to say it
Waiting.
until Janice said hers?
Okay.
Wait, I was fast though, and I think that
That was
deserves
pretty
5
fast.
that was and that's like a 5-pointer because it was so fast. Yeah.
But I like it. I think she should get an extra point for the.
A 5
Yeah.
pointer. Huh?
I
Yeah.
mean, I
Yeah.
think so.
Like,
I think
you know
she
how
should get an extra
basketball has
point.
yeah, you know how,
So
like,
she gets
basketball has, like, 3-pointers because you're, like, outside of whatever line that is? I
the
think that,
3-point line.
yeah, the 3-point line.
Yep.
Okay.
You're doing great, Janice. You're
So
doing
we,
awesome.
we've given
This is
Janice an
a
arbitrary extra point now because she was behind the one line that gets you the one extra point. So now she's at the 2 point line. So it's 3-2. You're really good at
wait a
sports.
second, like a free throw, is that 2 points or just a
That's
regular 2
incorrect.
points?
That's
No,
no, that's
a
one.
free point is 1 point. Okay. So, like, it's just a
Free
regular
throw,
free
free
throw.
throw,
Free
free.
throw is 1 point, and then anywhere on the courts is 2 points unless you're behind the three-point line, and then that's 3 points. Am I right?
Yeah, unless you
Okay.
go to shoot a 2-pointer and you get fouled, in which case then if you make it, you automatically get the 2, but then you go to the free throw line to hit for a third. Or if you get fouled in the act of shooting a 3-point shot and it goes in, then you actually have a shot at a 4-point play because you get
Thanks.
the 3 for the shot. And anyway, come on, we got to quit soon. We got this
Okay,
3-2.
sorry. Alright,
We're
alright.
playing to 4.
Okay.
Dog.
Dog,
Dog.
Dog's life.
DOG.
Dog's life.
There you go.
3-3. Uh-oh, comeback city.
Uh, life.
A Beautiful Life? Isn't it A
Life.
Beautiful Life?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I am
Yeah, yeah, there's
too.
a lot. There's, like, A Beautiful Life, It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah. There's a ton. Yeah. Okay.
So I hate to put this out there for everybody else to hear. I just don't want to. I don't want to boast. You know, I don't want to be
Oh my
arrogant about
gosh.
this. I really
You
want to be humble.
100% wanna boast.
He does. He
But
loves this.
we played 2
Yeah,
games and I've won them both, so I'm 2-0,
I
and I'm
know,
keeping
I
score.
know.
I'm 2-0 right now. So
But Janice,
But
I
there
really
was
thought you made a good comeback. You were doing good there.
we
yeah,
gave her a free
I
point.
know, I
It
know.
wasn't a free point. She earned it.
Oh,
I did. Lorraine, you're welcome back anytime now.
Thank you, Janice.
this is
You're welcome.
ridiculous. All right, guys, we got to go. Thank
Yep.
you so much for listening, Janice. It's been wonderful. Lorraine, thank you for being a good sport and jumping in.
No problem.
Yes,
This has
thank you.
been the Autism Exchange podcast, where we want to communicate and collaborate. We want to have real talk that's really relatable. We have no self-serving purpose in this other than the ability to pull out some really applicable things for our own personal lives. But none of that's planned. Our plan is no plan. You can find us on all of the major podcast platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeart, YouTube, you name it. For Janice Krimpa, I am Michael Coldarn. This has been the Autism Exchange podcast.
I want to point out that I did make a reference to a wedge versus a 7-iron, and that
And a
was a
7-iron's a
legitimate.
wedge.
I was thinking pitching wedge. Because it has a flatter face that is not, that angle is different. So, all right. I really still think that my answer of a pitching wedge is better than a 7-iron and was a very constructive piece of feedback. But I guess we can agree to disagree on that one. Although we
Well,
did agree that it's not
7-iron is a
a
wedge.
club,
The head of the club is a wedge.
but it's not a
But pitching wedge.
and it's-
Fair
yeah.
enough. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Janice, see you next time.
Okay.
Lorraine, thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Lorraine. Thank you. Bye.